How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to simply fix some scratches on the tailgate of this the Ford Platinum sitting here. We're going to wet sand it. We're going to compound. We're going to polish it. We're going to go around the whole thing with a specialty finishing glaze for black paint, and then we're going to protect. Let's go get it done. All right, these are the three scratches we're going to be working on today. The first one is kind of superficial. It's wide, but it's not very deep at all. The second one, it's to the left of the latch right here, is deep. It's not anywhere near the ridge, but it has a couple small ones surrounding it as well. And the third one is very short, little deep, but right on the edge. So we're going to start with this one. Going to tape up the area. We're going to protect that black plastic strip on the top. We're going to protect the ridge where we can. The second one is nowhere near the ridge, so we can protect the whole thing. And the third one, we're just going to protect the black plastic strip on top of the tailgate. First thing to do is get the strippies and get all the wax or sealant that could be on the surface of the paint. We're going to get that off of there. Then we're going to get a little bit of water on there and start wet sanding. First disc is going to be 1000 grit. This is going to be the disc that actually removes the scratch itself. So take your time, do a little bit, pass or two, and then wipe off the residue, check the area, make sure the scratch is completely gone before you move on to the 3000 disc. Pressure here, I'm only pushing down with 2 fingers. It's not a lot of pressure at all. Wipe off the residue. Take a careful look from different angles, make sure the scratch is gone. If it is, it's time to move to the next step, which is the 3000 grit. And the area we sand with the 3000 grit will be just a little bit larger. It's going to be our way of blending in. So this step serves 2 purposes. It removes the sanding marks from the 1000 grit, and we also, by making the area a little bit larger that we're sanding, start to blend in the area. Wipe off the residue from the 3000 grit disc. Take a look. If the 1000 grit sanding marks are gone, it's time to step down again. And we'll grab that 5000 grit disc, where a lot of people would just jump to polishing. But I like to take the opportunity to use that 5000 grit to blend it in even more by making the area we're sanding just a little bit larger. And then we jump to the compounding and polishing. Speaking of compound, here's Resurrection by Angel Wax. We'll put a tiny dab on the 3-inch polisher from Griot's Garage, 3-inch pad. It's one of the stiffer all-purpose pads. This is just a personal preference, but I like the all-purpose orange pad throughout all stages, including polishing and finishing. I just like the firmness of it. I don't like extra soft pads. It's just something I don't like when the polisher is bobbing up and down and swaying from left to right. I just like the firmness and stiffer all-purpose pad here. So with this step right here, we're just going to take a couple slow arm motions to the left and right and work out all the sanding marks, and it shouldn't take many passes at all. By the time I get to this step, I like to have a nice plush edgeless microfiber to wipe this area down. Residue control is huge here, especially working with black, so that's why I will, as usual, clean off the pad with compressed air between every pass, every step. And speaking of the next step, we're going to remove the tape, and we're going to use an ultra-fine polishing cream, and we're going to polish a larger area than what we compounded. And again, it's part of the blending in process. When you do repairs, you don't want to draw more attention than the scratch actually did. So blending in is important. When you get to this part, the ultra fine polishing, some very slow arm motions left to right, up and down, with light pressure. I only have my thumb on the top of the unit. I'm using my hands to just guide the tool back and forth. Let's wipe off the residue and come in for a closer look. All three scratches are different in their own way. The second one here is deeper with a couple small clusters to the left and the right. First thing again, take away the wax or sealant that might be on there, and we're going to get to wet sanding. The 1000 grit will be first as usual. That is the one that does the work. That's the one that's the workhorse and removes the scratch. The other two are just to remove sanding marks from the steps before and part of the blending in process. If I repeat myself excessively in any of these steps, please forgive me. It's a lot of information to get out. It's also a lot of information for some people just starting out to absorb. So maybe it is good that I'm repeating myself here and there. In any case, this scratch is deeper than the other two. It's going to take a couple passes because you only want to do a little bit at a time. You want to wipe off when you're working in such a small area like this. Just do a couple passes. Wipe off the residue. Come in and take a look from different angles, the left and the right. Use your light. If you have a detailing light, come on in and use that. Grab some different angles and keep going until the scratch is gone. And it is here, so we're going to move on. Now here with the 3000 grit, we went a little bit deeper with the 1000, so we're not going to spend a ton of time with the 3000 grit. We're going to be careful and just go far enough to get rid of those sanding marks from the 1000 grit and make the area a little bit bigger as we continue to blend in the area. Cleaning off the residue, I could see that this is good to go for the next step, which is the 5000 grit. Again, a lot of people would just jump to the compounding and polishing. But I want to take the opportunity again to do some more blending and refine the area just a little bit more. We are working with black. The truck is all but brand new, and the customer expects perfection, and that's what I'm going to deliver. So before we get to the compounding, I'm going to put a bigger piece of tape, protect that plastic trim, and we're going to jump to the compound. It's a heavier cut. But we're not going to spend a lot of time. We're just going to take one or two slow passes and jump on to refining. Guys, this is probably my fourth or fifth or maybe even more video on correcting scratches, wet sanding, and compounding and polishing. It's an important part of the detailing job, so if you newcomers or do-it-yourselfers have any questions, don't hesitate to, message me or call me or email me. I'll be there for you. So we're going to do some residue control right here again. I do that between every pass and every step, especially working with black, that's most important. And here's the Redemption Ultra Fine. We're going to remove that piece of tape protecting the ridge because we want to polish a larger area. And we're going to move on to the last scratch, and that'll be broken down into another video. Sorry guys, my recording device has limitations, so that's the plan here. I urge those who want to learn how to take care of scratches on the peak of a ridge to jump in and watch that second video. I go into as much detail as I can into what I'm doing at the time, so it kind of gives you the best idea of what you're going to look forward to if you jump into a job like that. Okay, this deep scratch and the cluster of scratches to the left and right are gone. Let's take a look. That's going to end part one. Take a little break. We'll see you in part two.